What's up, guys? Dirk here from intelligentcryptocurrency.com. It is Tuesday, it is the 28th of July, and Bitcoin has broken $10,000. In fact, actually, as I'm recording this, it's actually broken $11,000. So what I want to discuss in today's video is whether or not this is a real pump that is happening, or is it just going to be like all the other times where it's going to pump and then it's going to go straight back down and continue in a bear market. So if you're new to the channel, this is all about cryptocurrencies. I share my insights, thoughts, experiences as I've been in the crypto space since 2014. If you do want to continue to get updates, subscribe to the channel below, click the notification bell, and I'd really appreciate it if you get value from this video. Just smash the like button, give it a thumbs up. You can do it now, you can do it at the end of the video. Anytime you want to smash that like button, I highly encourage it. So, looking at the charts over here, you can see over here, $11,000 for Bitcoin. And it's been a while since we've seen that. In fact, it's actually been since August 2019. So it's been about a year since we saw it. And obviously the whole worrying factor or the concerning factor is, we saw this happen in 2019. We had that huge pump from $3,000 all the way to $14,000, and then it went straight back down, and we had a whole another year of bear market, including a quite a crash earlier this year back to about $4,000. Now we're back here, and I think this time it's different. I think this time it could very well be the real thing. And the reason for that is not simply just looking at Bitcoin in isolation. It is actually looking at what the heck is going on in the world, combined with a bunch of other factors. So, just switching this over and looking over here, this is a big kind of guideline also. Gold, right? Gold against the US dollar has broken to new all-time highs. In fact, it is now at a level that has never before been seen. It is higher than the all-time high, which was formed in 2011. So it took gold almost 10 years to get back to its all-time high, and that was a long wait. And obviously you have people like Peter Schiff who hates Bitcoin apparently, and who just loves gold and always talks about gold. It's like, yeah, gold is a new all-time high, gold, great. But if you bought gold in 2010 and you bought Bitcoin in 2010, which one would you be better off holding right now, right? Obviously Bitcoin. You bought gold in like 2010, you would have waited almost 10 years for it to get back to the same place it was back then. If you bought Bitcoin in 2010, you'd be rich right now, and you would be somewhere on a massive yacht in the Caribbean or something like that, So obviously Bitcoin has been a better performance than gold, but gold has been the historic kind of safe haven asset. Before Bitcoin was around, you only had gold and silver as a hedge, right? As a safe haven, as a real form of real money, not debt-based currency that's created from bonds and notes and IOUs and this kind of stuff, which is what all our fiat currencies are. US dollars, euros, pounds, it's all debt, it's all currency, it's not really money. So this gold move back to the all-time high, and quite simply like looking towards, I think, going to break 2,000 and maybe much higher, is in my opinion a signal that people are starting to distrust the fiat currency system and start to move capital into assets that protect against inflation. So they're hedges against inflation, which is what gold and silver usually are. But this time around, we also have Bitcoin. And that brings me to my theory that basically this time around, the pump in Bitcoin, the break above 10,000, is the start of a real Bitcoin bull market, similar to gold. Because just like gold is a hedge against inflation, we now have Bitcoin, and Bitcoin could also start serving as a hedge in inflation. And in many ways, Bitcoin is actually a better form of money than gold. Because, for example, gold, even though it is capped in supply and it takes a lot of work to actually get it out of the ground, we don't know the real cap of gold, okay? Who knows how much gold there's in the oceans and in the mountains and maybe in asteroids and all that kind of stuff. So you don't really know. There is a cap on gold, but nobody knows how much gold there is and how much gold there will ever be. With Bitcoin, you know exactly there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin in existence. by about the year 2140, we know exactly what the inflation rate is. We know what the amount of Bitcoin is produced every single block, every single day. We know it's going to get cut in half every 4 years. So in that form, it's way better. In other forms of looking at money, Bitcoin is also a lot better because look at gold, right? Gold is very difficult to store, right? It's heavy, it's bulky, it's difficult to transport. If you had all your money in gold, how are you going to pay someone on the other side of the world, right? And especially if it's a large amount of money, how are you going to pay someone 10 grand or $100,000 or $1 million on the other side of the world if you only had gold? Whereas with Bitcoin, you can send any amount of money anywhere in the world 24/7, effortlessly, almost instantly, and virtually for free, right? So that property is a lot better. Additionally, and this is one of the things that's talked about as Bitcoin, is it is very censorship resistant and confiscation resistant. So if you go back in history, there was a time when gold was made illegal and where gold can be confiscated or gold could be stolen, right? If you have gold somewhere in a storage, in a vault, in a house, right? If someone breaks into your house, they could steal your gold. They just take it, right? They physically take it. But with Bitcoin, you don't physically store it anywhere. You can actually memorize the seed phrase of your Bitcoin wallet or even your private key. That'll be a little bit hard to do, but you could theoretically do it. And you could, the seed phrase is much easier. So you can literally store millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin in your head. You can travel all around the world with it. You know, even if someone takes your house or breaks into your house, they can't necessarily get your Bitcoin. So it makes it more censorship resistant than gold, which, you know, over the coming time and in the future might actually be something that proves to be very useful. So I think there's going to be a lot more money flooding into Bitcoin because it is a hedge against inflation. It's a hedge against all sorts of things. And that is why I think the pump is real. So let's get back into the chart. Let's get back into the Bitcoin chart over here. And could Bitcoin drop again? Yes, absolutely, of course. You know, we've seen it so many times. But there's a few factors. So I wanna break this down for you. I don't know how long this video is gonna go. It might be a short video, it might be a long video. So looking on the monthly chart, we literally have about 3 days left to complete this monthly candle. Now 3 days, anything can happen. It could drop all the way back down. It could continue a lot higher. Who knows? But at the moment, this is looking really positive. So this is a pattern on the chart that's been developing since 2017. You can see over here since the peak, and we've had 2 touches over here. We've had 2 touches over here. Obviously a third touch, and now it looks like we're breaking to the upside. Now, of course, again, we're gonna have to wait for confirmation. We've got 3 days left of the candle. So if it drops back down and it closes within the formation, then obviously everything I'm doing in this video is probably not going to be valid, and we might be in for a few more months of bear market. But assuming that it is going to stay here and above 10,000 and close above 10,000 for the monthly, I think there's a very good chance we are going to continue higher. Now, the first level of resistance would obviously be that 14,000, that previous top. But if we can break above that, then I think it's just a matter of time before we get back to the $20,000 level in Bitcoin. And just like we saw with gold, ultimately, where it does go back to that previous all-time high, I think it will continue higher this cycle. And people are talking about $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 per Bitcoin, some even more. And I think it's very possible. I've actually made a video on the previous cycles projecting it forward. I think it is possible to see Bitcoin at $50,000, maybe even $100,000 at the next peak of the cycle. And of course, you have to wonder what is going to happen to the value of the dollar and the fiat currencies, right? So if Bitcoin goes to $100,000, but the dollar devaluates by another 50%, obviously that's something you have to consider too. But I think it is looking positive at this point in time. Now, does that mean you need to go and FOMO into Bitcoin? The answer is absolutely not. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not going to tell you what to buy, what to sell. I'm not going to tell you where to buy it and if this is a good point or not. 11,000, you know, if it goes to 50,000, obviously 11,000 has been a good entry point. If it drops by 50%, which it could very well do, well, then buying at 11,000 was temporarily probably a wrong entry point. So don't FOMO in, and we're going to see this a lot more. If we really get this bull market that I'm anticipating, we're going to see prices go absolutely nuts. And every single day, you're just going to be seeing prices go up and up. The media talking about it, your friends start talking about it, your family starts talking about it, and you're like, damn, I don't have enough, or I don't have any, or I need to buy this coin or that coin. Do not just FOMO into anything. Don't chase anything. What you want to do is you want to do your research. You want to understand what the investment is, why you're investing in it, and then you want to make a decision if you're going to buy it or not. And obviously consult a financial advisor before you do. But don't just buy it because it's been going up and up and up and up, right? And even though maybe now, in hindsight, now might still be a very favorable entry point, when Bitcoin starts going to 20 or 50 or $100,000, there's going to be people who are going to be FOMOing in. They might even sell their car or might even take a mortgage out on their house just to buy one Bitcoin. Don't do that, please. Okay? The time to buy is when no one is interested in it. And even though we've broken 10,000 and hanging around the 11,000 level, I still feel like a lot of people aren't actually interested in Bitcoin or crypto just yet. Maybe they're starting to get a little bit interested and they're starting to wake up now that we're above 10,000. But again, we saw it last year. It went above 10,000, went to 14,000, dropped back down. So I feel like a lot of people are still like, yeah, it's just probably going to drop back down. So that's where the market cycles come in. Once again, I also made a video about that recently. I'll link to it up here. But basically, that's the disbelief phase of the market. Everyone's like, nah, this is not real. It's probably going to drop down. And then once it continues to go high enough, then people start thinking, hey, this is actually happening. And then we get into the hope phase or the belief phase, right? And that's where people start to buy in at much, much higher prices. So be very aware about that. And if you're not willing to buy crypto when it's low and no one's interested in it, then why are you interested in buying much higher? And that's something you should ask people when they start talking about, oh, I need to buy Bitcoin. It's 20,000, it's 30,000. Do you own any? No. I want to buy some. Why? Because it's going up. Well, you didn't buy it at $5,000, but you want to buy it at $30,000. That makes no sense, right? So anyway, getting back to this, and I think this is important for you to know also, even if you understand everything that's happening and you bought Bitcoin and crypto early, you might be able to help out some of your friends and family members once it starts really getting to crazy levels, and only then they start getting interested. It's never a good idea to give any sort of financial advice or talk about investments or anything to friends and family. But if you can see people make those mistakes, at least you can be like, hey, it's like everyone's talking about it. It's probably not a good time to get in or something like that. Or at least just warn them about that when you see the same patterns repeating, right? So one thing I also want to add to that is right now, so Bitcoin is at $11,000. Back to the all-time high is actually less than 50% to get back to 20K. So I've had a few people ask me, should I buy Bitcoin or should I buy cryptocurrencies? Well, if you look at Ethereum is actually at $320. The all-time high was just over $1,400. So it's just under 50% to actually go back to the all-time high for Bitcoin. But for Ethereum, it is almost 500%. Okay, so it depends. It depends on your risk levels. It depends on everything. But in terms of just going back to the all-time high, Ethereum is the second biggest crypto by market cap. It has almost all of the other cryptocurrencies built on it. Very, very high percentage are all built on Ethereum. Ethereum is moving to a proof of stake. It is moving to Ethereum 2.0. The final testnet is coming out in the next couple of weeks. So, holding Bitcoin or holding Ethereum, what do you think is going to happen? In the last cycle, Ethereum massively outperformed Bitcoin. And I think personally, not financial advice, I think that Ethereum has the potential to do that again this cycle, where it just makes percentage gains much, much bigger than Bitcoin itself. And then obviously you have all the different altcoins and all the different cryptocurrencies that you could potentially invest in. Some of them might do 50x, 100x. There might even be some coins that pull 1,000x return in the next bull market. Who knows? We'll probably see it, right? Who knows what those coins are? It's probably impossible to pick them. It's just a matter of getting lucky and getting in at the right timing. But I think those kind of coins will be around. So my opinion on this is the real deal. I think this is the start of a real bull market in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies that could last for the next 12 to 18 months. And the reason why I say that is, like I've said, this time it's different because gold is also much, much higher. That people are looking for protection against inflation. The central banks are printing trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars of currency all around the world, which devalues the purchasing power of the money. And this isn't going to stop. It's only going to accelerate. There's going to be more trillions, tens of trillions. And you know what happens when central banks and countries print money like there's no tomorrow. Look at Zimbabwe, look at Venezuela, look at Argentina. Look what happened to their currency once the central banks started printing and printing and printing. It becomes worthless. So the money that people do have, or the currency that people do have in bank accounts or wherever that's not being used, they want to allocate that to something where it at least protects from inflation or also has a chance to increase, which is gold, silver, potentially Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, real estate, maybe even the stock market. Okay, but things like real estate, yes, you can buy property, but there's a lot of headache associated with it. It's a big amount of money, so it's very illiquid. If you want to sell a house, you know, it's not that easy to just sell a house, especially when there's no demand or there's no buyers, right? And then you have to deal with maintenance, you have to deal with taxes, property costs, all that kind of stuff, right? So something like Bitcoin or gold and silver is much less maintenance. It's much easier. You buy it, you hold it, right? That's it. And it's much easier to sell also. If you have 1 ounce coins of gold, you can sell them, you know, 1 ounce coins of silver or silver bars or anything, you can sell them pretty easily. The same with Bitcoin and crypto. You can sell off amounts, what you need, $100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. You can sell it, convert it to currency if you need it pretty much at any time, very, very easily. So with that being said, I think that's going to continue. That's going to be a trend. So I think we're going to see a lot more money flowing into gold, silver, but also Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, because that market cap is still very, very small and there's a very high chance of appreciation for it. And like I said, it's very liquid. Bitcoin, at least anyway, trades 24/7. It's very easy to get into. And all the infrastructure has made massive progress and increases over the last few years. Okay, it is now possible for hedge funds, for institutions, for large investors to actually buy Bitcoin or expose themselves to the price action of Bitcoin in a safe and compliant way. There's custodian services. Bitcoin has actually been declared a form of money by an official, by a federal court in the US. It's now possible for national banks to actually hold cryptocurrency on behalf of their customers as a custodian service. So all these things together make me think this is the real deal, and that we are in for a new bull market that could last the next 12 to 18 months. Now, could the price still drop? Absolutely. This is Bitcoin, this is crypto, okay? If something happens with the stock markets and we get a big sell-off, Bitcoin and crypto could sell off, 30, 40, 50% from these levels. It is possible, but at the same time, it could also continue growing. So, take all of that into consideration, consult a financial advisor, which I'm not, I'm just sharing my opinion here, and then, do something to protect your wealth. Because if you keep it in currency, it is pretty certain that that currency is just going to continue getting worth less and less and less. And yes, you will still hold the same amount, the nominal amount. If you have $100,000 in the bank, you'll still keep that $100,000, but it's just going to be able to buy you less and less and less. Now it might be able to buy you a luxury Mercedes. In a year from now, who knows? Maybe it'll buy you a new Toyota. In 2 years from now, it might only be able to buy you a 20-year-old used Toyota. That's basically what's happening to the purchasing power. So you want to look at protecting your purchasing power and your wealth so that you're not going to end up losing it as the central banks are printing more and more and killing the purchasing power of the currency. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below with your thoughts if you have any questions. And if you haven't done so yet, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you do, just click the button, click the notification bell, and then you will get updates of future videos that I make. And just before I let you go, I want to let you know I have a complete cryptocurrency community and education program at intelligentcryptocurrency.com. The link will be the first link in the description if you want to sign up. Basically what I do, I publish a monthly newsletter, a 30-page report. I do monthly updates on charts and insights and news. I provide research on projects. I've got multiple courses about how to get started with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, how it all works, how to trade, how to do technical analysis. I've got special reports in the members area, and all of that is available for a very, very reasonable cost. You can join in there, get in the private chat groups, talk to members all around the world, and myself to help you as much as possible on your cryptocurrency journey. So if you are interested in that, intelligentcryptocurrency.com, the first link in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.